Hi, everyone. Hopefully I'm on. I'm trying to find the live on the Janome page. I'm not sure if it's there or if it's over on YouTube today. Let me see if I can get out to YouTube on this thing here. Oh, I don't know. It's never easy. We had a huge storm just today, about 30 minutes ago, and we're just getting over it. So I'm not sure if I'm having an issue because of that. Oh, I am on YouTube. Get my volume off of here so we don't have, this has to turn this off. There we go. All right, let's get back on here. All right, so we are on YouTube. I'm going to go over to the Janome page and let them know that I'm over here because I don't think we're showing up on the Janome page. I'm not sure. Let's see. Oh, maybe it's there too. Oh, there it is, finally. Nope, that's not the right one. Where is it? Hang on, everyone. I just have one little thing here. If I can get, nope, I cannot get it to go over here. So I'm not sure where everybody's watching today. I'm going to put my comments on over on, yeah, there's no picture. There should just be the welcome. Can you see the welcome part? And I'm going to go ahead and close that. Let me see what happens when I close that. Can you see me now? Let's see what happens. I hope it's working. This big storm, I had to unplug everything. We had huge lightning. Our neighbor's tree got struck by lightning. So, and we have painters in the house. And oh my gosh, there's just a lot going on as I was trying to get things finalized. Okay. And can you see me on YouTube? There's a picture, hopefully. All right, if you guys can see. Oh, good. There is a picture. We have pictures. All right. Hopefully those that are on the, I'm going to see if I can put a message over on the Janome page and tell them where I'm at, which is crazy. Let me see if I can find the page. It says I'm live over the, oh, it says live, but I don't see where it doesn't let me post anything. Oh, there I am. I'm back over there. Miracles. Okay. Oh no, I just had my little banner up. Did everybody see the banner today? Okay. So I have people over on YouTube as well as over here. And so I have to, let me see if I can turn on my other comments because then I can see comments from both places. Okay, there we go. All right, so I have that on. And I'm going to put this up. There we go. So sorry about the little delay. And as I said, I'm glad my live wasn't an hour earlier because it rolled in, huge thunder, big lightning, like, ooh, it's a little crazy. All right, so here I am. Hopefully everybody has found me now. I think I have comments coming up on YouTube and over here. Perfect. I think my comments will be in both places. Okay. So if I don't answer your question, I'll go back to both places and answer afterwards, just in case. I just wanted to make sure I'm still on the Janome page as well. I don't know. Facebook is weird. Sometimes it says, do you want to stream without Janome? And I'm like, not really. But they only give you an option, broadcast or cancel. And then when I cancel, I have to redo all my titles. And so I only put the title up. I didn't put my little blurb of what it's about. But we are talking about name drop and in Artistic Digitizer. And I don't know if anybody's played with name drop before, but it's great for when you have multiple names to put into the same thing. So say you have a logo or even like maybe you're making quilt block, or you're getting things ready to put on a hat and you have an outline and you just want to put the names in the center, you can use Name Drop for that. And it's really easy. You can type in all the names and have them in a list and save them under different titles, so you can just pull it up. One might be, your quilt guild. One might be your family. One might be a job that you're having, maybe, Sally's whatever. And so you can have them all there ready to go. And then when you're ready to stitch, you can pop them in and you can send it to this machine and it will stitch each one and the name will go right in the spot it's supposed to be. Amazing, right? All right, so let me see how everything is, and let's see what's going on over here. I think I'm gonna look at the YouTube one really quickly just to see if there's any questions over there. Okay. I don't know what designer 10 is, Michelle, so I can't answer that question. So I don't know what designer 10 is. But let me go back to this one here. There we go. Back and forth. I'm like come on, there we go. All right, so let me open the software and show you how it works. And I'll show you on the screen of my machine. I didn't stitch anything out. I'm in the middle of a big stitch out of a lot of other things. And I kind of made up a reason to use Name Drop today. So I'll show you how all that works. All right, let me get the software open and we can move from there. So here we go to software and it's up. All right, so here we go. So in the software, I'm going to open up, I'm going to go to my browser and I have a USB stick here, but I want to show you under devices here on the left, you can see that I have a CM17 and you can see what's on the ready to sew screen. I have built in and I have 2 USB sticks plugged in and the built-in sample. So you can see all of that when you're connected through Artistic Digitizer and your CM17. And that's for both junior and full. You'll see it that way. I also have an S9 turned on today, and you could see the ready to sew screen there and the built-in drive, and I only have 1 USB stick in there, so you could see that. And then the USB stick that shows here says July. That is in my computer. So I have a lot of places I can navigate to find items. So it's always, I love the Wi-Fi portion of this. And if there's something in my machine I need, I can definitely go there and get it. All right, so I'm going to open up this one here. This is that spa design I made a while ago. And I'm going to open this one. And we're going to play with this one first, and then I'm going to show you when you go to work with these, you want to work with the JEF file of it. And I know this is a JEF file because when I select it, I can see over here in my properties. Let me see what's happening. Where's my properties today? Let me get them. There we go. In my properties over here, it says raw. Okay. Now, the reason for that with this particular one, because there's a letter in there, if I left it as a draw file, it would think the letter was part of the names that was going in, and it would connect to them. And I'll show you here. I think this is the one that's my draw file. And we'll go back to this one. But when I select that, there's actually another list that comes out and it comes off the H and the names come down here. They don't line up where I want them. Okay, so that's the thing. In case that happens, if you have a letter already in your logo and it's highlighting like that means make sure it's a JEF file that you bring in, okay, rather than a draw file. And that's easy to do. I always have everything as a draw file, and then I can save it again as a JEF file to bring it in as a JEF. So there's my design, and I want to add names to this. This is my, my family spa. I made those robes and stuff when my kids came to visit. So let's pretend like, everybody in the family either is going to get their own spa shirt or maybe a special spa robe or maybe special spa towels, or anything like that. So I can use my logo that I created and I can add text to it. So I'm going to go to my text tab. And then I'm going to, and you know, when you open the text tab, anywhere that you put your cursor is where your lettering will be. And you can definitely move it around. You don't have to put it exactly where you want it. You can put it anywhere. But I want to put mine right in this little spot here. And then I'm going to come up here. And of course, you can use, you know, any of the fonts. These are the pre-digitized XPG fonts. And then we do have the TrueType fonts down here. If you like those, you can use those as well. This kind of nice, that bubblegum chalk duster is nice. But I'm actually going to leave it at the one it's at right here. And you can click in here again and then just use your mouse wheel to move between them, okay, to see them. That works out really well. And I think I was on 20, so I'm going to go back. There we go. And I have my little line there. I'm going to put them in at 20, but I can change the size of them. And I'm just going to type in here. I'm just going to type my name because this is where I want mine to go. All right, so there it is. And I'm going to select OK. And then I'm going to look at it and I'm like, you know, I think I want it to be just a little bit closer in there. That looks like a good size. Let me see what the whole size is here. And it is going to be like almost 3 inches high by almost 4 inches wide. So, you know, really if I was putting this on a little towel, a shirt, it might be quite a bit. I would probably size it down a little bit more. But for now, this, you know, this will work for this here. All right, to do name drop, what I'm going to do next is once I have one name in place, I can go in here, select all, right click, and at the very bottom, you'll see name drop. You see that? Now, if you're in junior, junior doesn't have name drop. I don't believe. I have to go back and look at my junior program, but I'm not sure. And so name drop is right here. So if you're in junior and you don't see it, that's why it's not in there. All right, so there's name drop, and I'm going to select it. And it opens up this window here. And in this window, it shows my name. And then I can type more names below it, like this. And I'm gonna do some little different ones because I have one already. Or maybe I'll just do it like this. And then there we go. So there are my family names, and I can just hit OK, and it'll put them in there. All right. Or I could come over here to save, and I could save this list so I could use it again. So let me go over here into save, and I'm going to save it right here in this area. It's in my July 2025 folder. And then I'm going to call it, I don't want to call it Family All because I already have that. I'm going to call it Family All 2. All right. And then at the bottom here, wait a minute, let me get this back here. Move this because I have a little window. I can't see the save part. I'm going to save it. And then if I come in here and let's just say I didn't put any names in here, just the one, and I go to load, I will see here are my lists. There's the first one, there's that second one I put in. So I could go ahead and pick either one of these, and they're in a different order, but doesn't matter. So I'll pick the all, and then I can double click, and they pop in, and then all I have to do is click OK. So you can load in, you know, all the things for a job that you're doing, maybe, you know, under the job name, and then save them, and then you'll have them there for future jobs. You could, you know, if you're doing, you know, I was thinking maybe like special quilts that maybe you made a special set of like table runners, and you wanted to, you know, put a nice little thing on there with, you know, some kind of flower or something, and a special gift for and a person's name. And then you could put all the names in here, and then you could get those done all, you know, one, you know, popped in there easily. All right, so I'm just going to click OK, and you'll see what happens. And you see they all popped in here right on top of each other, and that's fine because they will be in order over here in your sequence manager. Now I do want to make a couple of changes here. So what I'm going to do is when I click on one of these over here, it clicks up everybody. And I'm just going to select all, right click, and ungroup. All right. And I want to go through and make sure that all the names are, I want them to be satin, and I don't want the outline, so I'm going to delete the outline. Now, I could set up my software so that when I do a font, it doesn't have an outline. Okay, so I could do that. And also, I want to get rid of some of the connecting ones, so I'm going to do break apart here, and there it is. Oh, and I'm also going to change all of these to red. So I'm going to click down here and make it red, just so we have them different from the blue ones. So I'll just go through all of them, and I'll come in here. I'm going to make it red. I'm going to delete the outline. I'm going to right click, break away, and make sure it says satin up there. All right, as long as they're coming in as satin. So this one is going to be red. Let me delete from my used colors and right click, break apart. Now the ones that have eyes in them, there's a little connector between the eye. I never really worry about that one. So I'm not going to go back and fix that one. I'm okay with that little one that jumps up there. You know, a lot of times the connector is what makes your machine so faster and smoother. It's not doing a lot of start and stop. So that's one of the reasons why sometimes I leave those in. And then I'm going to do Caitlin right here. Now you can see they all lined up with the edge of my name. Okay, they're all started here. And I'm going to show you maybe putting them here and how that works in just a moment. But you can see here they all are, just like that, right? And it will stitch, I'm putting this on a towel, and this is in my RE20D hoop. What I would do is I would hoop a towel or maybe a hat or a shirt, and then it would stitch just this first one and stop. All right, so I'm going to send it to my machine, and then we're going to go over to my machine so you can see it. All right, so let's go over there. I'm going to come up here to my CM17, and I could save this as it is, like this, and have it pulled up for another time for the same, maybe you work with the same, of course I work with my same family, but maybe I want to use it again for my family. Today I'm doing, shirts, maybe tomorrow I'm doing towels. So I could save it so I don't have to redo this each time. So I would just, for saving it, I would come up here and go to my file, and then I would do save as, and then I would put it in here, and I would call it, I'm just going to call it Spa Multi 1. There we go, and save, so to be in there. And I'm saving it as a draw file, that's fine. So I'm going to come back up to my CM17 at the top, and I'm going to do by wireless right here, and it'll go over to my machine, and I can send it right to the ready to sew screen. I'm going to select that. There it is, and I'm going to do send. Let's see what happens when it goes. It says sent successfully. So let me go and switch to my other camera view so you can see that. So I got to go to me, and then we'll go here so you can see it in the machine. So there it is in the machine, so you can see it. And what I want to show you is I'm going to turn on down here. I'm going to use my little stylus here. And I'm going to turn on show one item, which is the flower. So it's going to stitch these first 3 colors is my logo. All right. And let me get out of the picture too. So stand back a little bit more. There we go. And then it's going to come down here and stitch the first name. So I'm going to go through the colors. So we'll pretend it's stitching. And then it's going to do my name. And after it does my name, it's going to move to the next color, which is the that net fill for the next one. At this point, I would take my hoop off. I would rehoop my next item, and then I would start. It's going to stitch that, that, and then that. So you see how that's working? It's just going to keep going. I would rehoop now, put in the next item. It's going to stitch the logo, and then Caden, Mitch, and the last one is Caitlin. So in between each one, I would rehoop. So it's all ready to go. Very simple. Everything's in line where you like it. So let me see. This is Name Drop, and it's in Artistic Digitizer. I don't know if it's in other programs, so I cannot comment. I don't know what Designer 10 is. So I deal with Janome Artistic Digitizer. So that's how that would work. Let me go back to the camera on the other side here for me. So that's how you would set that up. So if you had anything, I'm going to show you another one as well, how to do this. If you wanted to put names on a hat, or you could use, we do have a hat hoop for some of our other machines. It's a flat hat hoop, though. I did a hat recently at an event, and we used a Hydro Stick, and it was a stabilizer you wet, and then you put your hat on there, and it held so much better than sticky so well. That hat, once you got it in there, that hat wasn't moving. You do have to let it dry a little bit, so you got to wait a minute or two, and you could use a light air dryer on it if you wanted to. But I love that Hydro Stick, and I think it's by OESD. They have it, and I'm sure some others have it as well. All right, so and before I move on, also, we do have a printed directions. This is from, and it's actually using the 15,000, but it doesn't matter. This one was done by one of our educators a while ago, Nancy Fiedler, and she's retired now, lucky gal, and having the time of her life doing traveling. But anyways, this is on the Janome webpage underneath the software under projects. And there are several projects there that you'll find, so you can go and find those. And you can print out all the directions here. And she talks about, she shows you how to make a border around it, which I'm going to show you for putting on a hat. So if you look here in the picture, those are hats, and she put this little border around there. So I'm going to show you how you can do that. All right. Let me just check my questions really quick. I think everything looks good. I think we're okay. All right. So let me go to the software, if I can find it. There we go. And here we are. All right. So I'm going to close this because I'm done with that. And I'm going to open a new page here. Let me see if my software moved along with me. There we go. There's always a little lag from where I am and to where it shows up on my iPad. All right, so here's my new page. I'm just going to go to a smaller hoop. And so I only see two items here under my machine because I don't have anything down here, okay? So I can go under change, and I could change my brand or my model, and I'm going to choose the smaller one here. We'll just use the smaller one. And I'm going to turn off my hoop icon up here. I want to mention, if you wanted to change hoops now, you would click in this part, not the plus. The plus is for multi-hooping, and it would add an additional hoop. All right, so here we go. And my hoop's ready. I'm just going to come in a little closer. And I'm going to go up under my tools and clip art library and insert clip art. And I think I'm going to use a border. And, oops, not bird, border. And I think it's not number 4. I think it's 04, but we'll see if it's still the same. Did it come up? I don't see it. Nope. Well, let me see what it gave me. Well, not that one. That's too big. All right, let's select that and delete it. I'll go back in and pick one. So the one that's listed in the directions, there's probably new clip art in there, so the numbers have changed. So you want to go to your borders, like that. And then you can scroll down here and find the one you like. This one is kind of nice. I like this one. And then you hit insert and you get the crosshair, and you're going to click and drag across like this to make your border. There we go. And then I'm going to center this in the hoop, and we'll take a look at it. So it looks like this. And if you like it, you know, sometimes they come up and they need a little work, and of course you can edit these. I'm going to use my Stitch Flow, and it already has a couple little things in it trying to fix this. You can see here, there we go, that looked kind of nice. And I'm wondering too, I have it in satin. Let me see what it looks like in a step fill. It's going to be more flat. We'll go with the flat one because I really want to show you the name drop portion of it. But you can go in and all of these borders, you can play with them, and you know, you can have it at satin and make all the changes to make it fit in the satin a lot better. But if this is what I wanted to put on the back of my hats, it is almost 3 inches wide by 1 inch high. So that's kind of small. It looks large. So I am going to size it up just a little bit, maybe from the corners just a bit, maybe like that. And let's see what we get. We are now at like 3 inches by, you know, 1.5. We could go a little deeper this way, get them in there. And then now all I would have to do is figure out my text. And maybe I'll go in here under text and use one of the TrueType fonts that I have. And everybody has different, there are TrueType fonts that come packaged with every computer, and they're all different based on your manufacturer. And then you can download TrueType fonts and insert them in here. This is Bubblegum, and these come from dafont.com, DAFONT.com, and you can get fonts there. Now, if you have fonts you've purchased, those are actually embroidery designs already. Unless it says TrueType, they're already an embroidery design. You have to work with them in a different way. So I have an extra hoop in there that I created myself. That's why that's in there, Cindy. Let me double check, and I'll go back to that really quick so I don't forget. So under here, you should have all of these. This is your SQ 27 for quilting. Then you have your RE46, your small one. So these are the 5 you should have for your CM17. So make sure you see the CM17 up here, and then just scroll down. You'll see what's in there. Or you can make them smaller like this so you can see all of them. At one time I had an extra hoop, and you can create hoops by going under, well, on a Mac, it's under Tools and Tool Options, and under a PC, it's under Preferences, and then there's a tab for creating hoops. All right, let me just click here. I'm going to go back to my text. I'm going to click in here, and I'm just going to type in Anne. And then what I want to do is I can center this in there like so. Let's center that, and then I'm going to center the outer part like that. Now this is where I could make any changes to this one if I want, so I don't have to do it later. And I'm going to make the inside of this could be blue. It's different than the other one. Let me see what's happening. I want to make sure they're centered here. And you could use your alignment tool when you select these. Go up here to alignment and do center. There we go. And then I want to center it this way as well. There we go. So that's alignment right up there. All right, so it's ready to go. I don't want to break apart yet. I'm going to go and select everything. And just like I did before, I would go to name drop. And I could go over here and I could load one of my things, but maybe maybe it's not one I saved, so I'm not going to do that. So I'm going to go to cancel here. And maybe I'm going away with some friends, so I'm doing some hats for Debbie and Helene. There we go. And I'm going to say okay. And they're in there now. Now they're based off where my name is. So what I'm going to have to do is I want to right click, ungroup, and then I'm going to select that one, and I will ungroup that one. And with Debbie, I can just select the Debbie. Let me get my Let's see here, get Debbie back in there. I just want the blue part, so I'm going to do, I think I could, let me see if I have to do break apart at this point. Ungroup, break apart, there we go. And so I'm going to have to put in that other one. When you do break apart, this design breaks itself apart. So what I would do is work on moving these over like that. So I clicked on Debbie, and I'm using the arrows that are on the top and bottom. So I got Debbie centered now, and I could do break apart on Debbie, but I'm going to leave that one. I'm going to do Helene and select Helene and move Helene. Whoop, wait a minute, I got to ungroup it right there, and then I can click on Helene and move Helene over. So now they're all centered off, on their own on this one. So there you go. It's pretty easy. Then I could save this, or I could send it to my machine, and it's going to stitch them in that order of, well, let's try it this way so you can, instead of there. If we went to slow redraw, you can see here it's going to do the red, then the blue. So it'll do the outline, and it'll stitch the first name. And then I would rehoop, and it's going to stitch the next one, and then the next name, and the last one, and the last name. So very easy to do. And you could create your own borders. You could have other embroidery designs with it. If you had, I don't know, there's just so many uses for it with, when you're doing multiples of everything. So let me put the camera back on, if I can find it. It started raining again, so I don't know if we're on the second time of this storm. And let's see what's happening here. We'll go here. There we are. All right. So what do you guys all think of Name Drop? Give me some thumbs up if you think, I think it's going to be useful. We've had it for the whole time we've had it. I just haven't really shown it to people. But I think you could really use it in a lot of different ways, and you could be creative with different things. Maybe you do, I don't know, dog collars, bandanas for dogs, things like that. So you could quickly put a list of dog names in there. Maybe if you're doing towels, things like that. So I think it could be very handy. Let me see if we have any thumbs up there coming with that. And so tomorrow, I think, let's see, today's Thursday, right? Yeah. Tomorrow's Friday, and it is August. So there might be some announcement tomorrow. I'm not sure. I'm hoping. And if there is, I'm going to do, once I get the announcement, I'm going to do a little bit of a live, I think, over on the Janome Artistic Digitizer page to talk to you a little bit about that. I just have to wait to see if the announcement comes through, and it might come through at the end of the day. I'm not really sure. I heard it might be coming. So I'm letting you guys know when it comes. Not only will I post about it, but I'm going to do a little bit of a live too, so I can talk to you about whatever is in that post. All right. So everyone, have a great day. Thanks for joining me today and finding me. I'm sorry if there was a little confusion on that. I don't know. Facebook is weird. And plus with this storm, I think there were some issues too. I was hooked up earlier and then I had to unhook everything. So could be with that as well. Let's see if there's anything. It looks like I got all the questions. I don't know if there's, yeah. Okay. All right. I'm going to let everybody go. Have a great day. If you can, pop back in on the Janome Sewing Machines page tomorrow, and then also check over in the Janome Artistic Digitizer page. And if you want these directions, they are on the Janome web page under software, and then look under projects. And you'll see some other projects there that you can download and try. They are written before we had the CM17. So they're still appropriate, but some things might be slightly different. Okay. All right, everyone. Bye for now. I'll see you next week because there's going to be really good stuff next week too. All right. Bye. Let's see, what is this? Oh, yeah. Last question. Maureen, yes, it does. It does work with the 9850. It does. Yep. It works with all of our machines. All right. Bye for now.